right, what is up, everybody? We are live, a lot to cover before we jump into the chat today. So let's start off with Kaden Honeycutt. Crazy series of events in the last 24 hours was leading the Cars Tour throwback race at Hickory. Was called for jumping the restart. A little bit of controversy there. Some people think he did, some people think he didn't. The race director didn't call it. Kip called it from his position, so just a lot going on there. So out of 50K for a restart that some think he didn't jump. So starts off with bad luck there. Then Nice offers him an extension on his contract. He informs Nice that he is signed with another truck team for next season, at which point Nice decides that they're going to let go of him now during this season. And according to everything we know, or at least everything we think we know, the rumors or whatever, he is now going to drive for Halmar Friesen for the rest of this season and then join a Toyota truck team next season. That Toyota truck team rumored to be replacing Corey Heim for next season. And if the rumors are true, depending on who you believe and what you believe, Corey Heim is either going to Sam Hunt Racing or Corey Heim is going to a Cup team. But crazy sequence of events there for Kaden Honeycutt. Not going to miss a race, but won't be racing allegedly for at least for the team that he's been racing for all season. Just before the playoffs start, they go with a different driver. Crazy work there. So interesting situation there, to say the least. A lot of moving pieces, a lot going on. Then in another realm of crazy here, John Kernan, taking a wild shot at Lee Diffey here, tweeted out, "I think I'm done with NASCAR. After further review, stage racing sucks. And I'm sure Lee Diffey is a great guy, but if I want to hear that accent, I'll watch Formula One. Sorry, guess I'm xenophobic." He was doing okay with the first half of that tweet. Then, if you like Lee Diffey, if you don't like Lee Diffey, whatever. But if you don't like Lee Diffey, at least attack him on something that he does professionally that you don't like. But just his accent, man, that seems like just so petty. And the fact that he said, "I guess I'm xenophobic," he knew it was a really bad take, still tweeted it out. So just to put that in perspective, not like a young kid doing something stupid here, knew exactly what he was saying, right? Still took the time to type it out and send it, knowing it was a bad take. So just really bizarre. And I mean, Lee Diffey, he does his job really well, in my opinion. So if the only thing you can ding him on is his accent, that's crazy. Luckily for me, I don't have an accent, so that's something I don't have to worry about. But Jeff Gluck tweeted out, "It's a privilege to have someone as incredible at their job as Lee Diffey, a world-class sports announcer calling NASCAR races. Extremely disappointing to see comments like this about his accent. He is one of the greats and makes the races better." And I have to agree with Jeff Gluck there. So class move there by Jeff Gluck, and just crazy tweet from Kernan there. Hadn't thought about Kernan in a long time, and probably won't again in the future, because that was just a totally crazy, wild, uncalled for tweet. Then we got a Bianchi bomb. I saw this on Instagram. Everybody loves racing, but this is from Jordan Bianchi at The Athletic Report. Justin Haley on the hot seat at Spire. The team could replace him before the season ends amid ongoing struggles. Of course, last year they sort of did the swap with the same car, the 7 car with Corey LaJoie. So eerily similar situation. Justin Haley has not performed up to what, a lot of people expected him to, especially after he had some decent runs with Rickware equipment before they did the swap with Corey LaJoie, and it just hasn't worked out over there with the 7 car. In fact, it hasn't worked out with anybody over there in the 7 car. The 7 car by far the weakest of the Spire lineup, but a very similar situation to how Justin Haley replaced Corey LaJoie, if this rumor holds to be true, that, he would be getting possibly replaced mid-season. So then the question becomes, who's going to replace him? A lot of people are saying maybe it's going to be Daniel Suarez. He has the experience. He's going to bring in some money. So that's one name that's been floated out there. Jesse Love's name has been floated out there. He's an up-and-coming prospect. He's in the Chevy camp. He would be, probably a good fit if they wanted to continue to go the young route. Got a couple of veterans over there. I mean, they got a veteran over there. Go the young route with Carson Hocevar, and then maybe a Jesse Love or something like that. Rajah Caruth would be another one that you could think about doing that. They've got a tight alliance with Hendrick. Rajah Caruth obviously has Hendrick cars on the side of his car. And then you've got, of course, Corey Day. Corey Day, another Hendrick prospect there that could possibly slot into that spot. Think those guys are probably maybe a year or two away from being at the Cup level, but you could throw their names out there. Or maybe they just go with a complete wild card. Maybe there's Austin Hill or somebody like that we're not thinking about in the Cup Series that they could slide in there. But yeah, who they replace him with, if they replace him, if this rumor pans out to be true, going to be something to look at for sure. No doubt about that. And Elton Sawyer went on the teardown or whatever and said that he thinks that increasing the horsepower is going to be a good move. He thinks that is the right way to go. He said it will not happen until 2026. So possibly in 2026, we will get an increase in horsepower. He thinks, which means basically he's been given probably the okay from NASCAR to say it. NASCAR finally thinks it's okay to increase the horsepower. So maybe getting that extra manufacturer was all NASCAR needed to hear, and now they're okay with bumping up the horsepower. So yeah, a lot to consider there. And Connor Zilic later this week, if the rumors are true, is going to announce his future to race in the Cup Series with Trackhouse, probably the worst kept secret. But we will officially know who the sponsors will be other than Red Bull, because you've got to imagine Red Bull is going to be one of those sponsors. So we'll find out who the other sponsors are going to be possibly coming up here later this week. So there you go. That is the rundown. Let's jump into the comments. Do have a poll question up. This is going to be a two-part poll question. So get your votes in on this poll question now, and then we will jump into the second part of it later. Best chance to shake up the cut line: Kyle Busch, Ryan Preece, Alex Bowman, or Brad Keselowski. Those are the options for that one. We're going to run another poll here in just a minute where the options are going to be Austin Dillon, Ty Gibbs, Chris Buescher, and Ricky Stenhouse. And then we'll run a third poll between the winners of those two polls. So there you go. Get your votes in now. And let's jump into the chats and see what you guys want to talk about. Brad K at Richmond or Daytona probably should.